Après, nous, déluge, after us, the flood. This painting illustrates what is happening in the world now since central banks started printing more and more money to try to save the world financial system. But they will fail. This was done during the reign of Obama. So this is called him Louis XV Obama and Madame Bernanke de Pompadour. This painting was made by a Swedish friend of mine in discussion with me. So basically, Louis XV was also a money printer, and he was basically running France into the ground, and his mistress helped him to do that. When they lost the war in the 1750s against Prussia, they knew that they were getting near to the end of the French power. And of course, after followed the French Revolution, etc. So Madame de Pompadour said to the king, "This is it, after us the flood." And basically we've used Bernanke, who was the chairman of the Fed and the biggest money printer of all Fed chairmen. And Obama, who was also a big money printer, because he came in, of course, in connection with the great financial crisis. So the only way to save the world was to print more and more money. And here you see the printing press going at full speed and the people drowning in all the printed money, which is, of course, is worthless money. But miraculously, during the great financial crisis in 2008, central banks led by the Fed and other central banks managed to not save the world, but to postpone a collapse of the financial system. But they only did that by printing hundreds of trillions of dollars, which is now gone even much further than that. We see a debt which is absolutely unmanageable and which can never be repaid by normal money. And of course, you can't save a debt problem like every Fed chairman and president has done by printing more money, because a debt problem can't be solved by more debt. And that's what's happening now. That's why we're coming to the end of this monetary era. All monetary eras in history have ended with the currency going to zero. We're down 99% in all Western currencies and almost Eastern also since 1971. So the final 1% is going to happen here. And sadly, the people will not die of printed money, but they will suffer because the money that they have in the pocket will be totally worthless as the printing accelerates now over the next few years. And of course, the other side of that is gold. Gold never goes up. It's paper money that goes down. And the way we measure gold is in paper money, which is totally wrong. As I've said many times, it would be better to measure it in cows or chickens, in real things, rather than in paper money, which loses its value by the day. And that, as I said, that fall in the value of paper money will now accelerate. And that will mean that the gold price in dollar terms or in euro terms is now going to go up. Although it's gone up from this century from just under $300 to over $4,000 today, my view is that we are going to go up by multiples from here. So as I've said many times, this is not too late. This time is not too late to actually buy gold and silver, because we will see major moves in these hard assets and especially precious metals. So please protect yourself, protect your family. Don't let the family drown. Own some gold, own some silver, store it safely outside the banking system, and at least your financial side will be much better protected. You will still suffer because of what's going to happen in the world, and because there'll be major problems, economic, political, and geopolitical. Gold doesn't save you from all of these problems, but it certainly helps to have a little bit of real money and a bit of savings. Remember that gold has always been insurance in bad times. And this is now when you need it more than ever. Thank you.